Christian,
Brandon.
to the best of your ability, with as much detail as possible, describe the effects of smoking marijuana.
Smoking marijuana can do a multitude of things. It can calm you. It can excite you. It can relieve pain. It can fill your head with a fogginess or a floatiness, if you will. Kind of really just depends on the individual that is doing the action of smoking the cannabis or the marijuana. There's so many different terms. But it really is kind of just tuned to the individual that is participating in the act of doing so.
So you've seen a variety of reactions.
I have, yes. There are different ways of intaking marijuana. There are gummies, there are beverages, there are the grass itself, and these just expand upon the ways that you can indulge yourself in cannabis.
How would you describe the other end of the spectrum as far as the effects of cannabis use?
While you obviously have the highs or the great moments, there are times in where individuals will have the quite literal opposite experience. That is freakouts, meltdowns, nightmares. It really can just be a state of mind, or it can be a way of being or existing. Like I've stated before, like stated a few moments ago, it really can depend on the individual.
In your opinion, what age is appropriate to begin consuming marijuana?
I believe that a crisp, I would say 18 years old is a nice starting line, I would say. Now, obviously, you'll get different answers depending on who you ask, but I feel as an 18-year-old, by most standards, that individual is mature to an extent to where consuming in any way, shape, or form cannabis is kind of done in a responsible manner.
What is the difference between indica and sativa?
Yes, one gives you a sort of low kind of, lets you calm down, lets you drift off into sleep, if you will. The other will hype you up. It is that which you would intake kind of in a social kind of gathering. So if you're going to hang out with your buddies, you would consume that strand and you would enjoy, and it would heighten the outing and give you a feeling of joy and happiness.
And which of those is the indica and which is the sativa?
Sativa is the one that calms you. Indica is the one that raises you.
What are your favorite and least favorite weed strains?
My favorite would have to be, I would say, Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster allows me to live in the moment, thrive, feel powerful, feel invincible, untouchable, free to soar and live.
Your least favorite weed strain?
It would have to be the strand known as Skittles. It is a underwhelming strand that can give you a little buzz. However, it is not the kind of strand you would want to pursue if you're looking for a more hyped up experience.
How do you get the highest?
Well, all you gotta do is keep smoking. Keep intaking that weed. Even if you think you're high enough, that simply is not the case, because there is always more space. There is always greater lengths to achieve. There are always greater heights to reach.
What political action, if any, would you like your state or federal government to take as it relates to marijuana?
Marijuana should be purchasable by anyone who is obviously of an appropriate age, but it should be also cost effective so that it can be enjoyed by the many without, breaking the wallet or draining that bank account. That way, all can enjoy that sweet, sweet cannabis.
If a stranger offered you free weed, would you take it?
I would have to say that I would feel obligated to do so, as being offered a gift such as cannabis or weed, whatever floats your boat, is the greatest gift one can give.
What is the ideal circumstance and setting for smoking marijuana?
The optimal environment would be surrounded by individuals who you know for a fact can enhance every single moment you spend with them. Any individual who, when in the room, lights it up, brings in an energy that is indescribable and unrestrainable. Bringing in multiple individuals of such personality and spirit can truly expand upon that moment in which you are feeling that high, living that high, feeling and experiencing that high.
What kind of energy do you bring to the weed hangout?
Well, some could call it unhinged, some could say unpredictable, but I would like to say a heck of a lot of fun. Me, while I am consuming weed, is someone who is even more free than the self that is not consuming the weed. That version of me is free and just able to be an authentic version of myself.
What are the long-term effects of smoking marijuana?
Smoking marijuana can do a multitude of things for you. It can cause you to be more relaxed. It allows you to take a load off. It allows you to even see the silver lining in things. It can allow you to, expand your horizons. Long-term effects can lead to great energy because it can allow you to get better night's rest. It can alleviate pain that you may be feeling from, whether it be a job that is rough on the soul, rough on the body, or a ailment of some kind that makes life harder. Cannabis can alleviate those things and allow for a smoother way of living.
If you could use Christian Speaks His Mind as a platform to America to speak about the issue of weed, what would you want to tell the rest of your citizens?
I would like to say that weed gets a bad rap. It is nothing like that, all those other harder drugs like your meth and your cocaine and all those other hardcore drugs. Weed allows you to have a high that does not destroy an individual completely, at least. It all can depend truly on the person themselves, but I feel as though that weed just is misunderstood. Really, if someone who is not open-minded to the idea of weed as a whole were to observe the act of smoking the weed, inhaling the weed, intaking the weed, they would see it as a way of harming the body, but that is simply because they just do not understand nor comprehend the positive effects that weed can bring. So I would just like everyone out there to know that weed is not something to be feared. It is something to be welcomed by one and all.